Hi, thanks for checking out this video. My name is Ray. Today I'm going to be talking about two epic masterpieces, Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets. These two albums are really essential within the Metallica catalog, and a lot of fans like them. We're going to start with Ride the Lightning, Metallica's second album, and it was a very powerful album. It was just better than the first, better songwriting, better song structure and all that, and it just had this like wicked sound to it. Kill 'Em All was good, but Ride the Lightning was just the next step up. And musically and lyrically and everything, it was just an amazing album. The cover is blue. I love this album. It's definitely one of my favorite albums. Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets, two fan favorites. Now I see a lot of comments in the comment section many times where newer fans will like the older stuff better. Or just the same. So it goes to show that I know it's not all the Metallica fans, but a majority of the Metallica fans do like the older stuff, and when they do discover it later, I mean, people heard the Black Album first, the people heard Load first. I've talked to a couple also who said, yeah, their older stuff is so much better and then heavier. I can relate to that slightly, because back in 1988 when I bought Injustice for All, I knew Master of Puppets and Injustice for All, that was it. And I wanted to check out more other Metallica that I didn't know. And of course I bought the Creeping Death album, I bought on tape, but I bought that, listened to it, and liked it. And one of the other tapes that I saw in the stores that I did not have was Ride the Lightning. So after a couple months of listening to Injustice for All, in November of 1988, I bought Ride the Lightning, and I was just blown away by it. The sound of it, the sheer power of it. James's voice is epic on this, and that's one of the main things about these two albums. James had that scream. He had that natural scream. It wasn't a growl. It wasn't a high-pitched scream, but he had that yell scream, and it was just perfect for the band, and James sounded awesome.
Who made you, God, to see my fingers gripped with fear? Oh, please, God, help me! They're trying to take it all away!
See, stuff like that is what made the album epic and awesome, and what made these two first Metallica tapes just so powerful and everything. Of course, with the guitars, drums, and everything else, but you know what I mean. It just gave it that extra quality to it, that extra element, and it was just awesome. It was just so much more of a thrash metal album. And Injustice for All is awesome. I did a whole review on Justice for All, that's why I'm leaving that one out. Click on my videos and scroll down, you'll find it. The Injustice for All review. But back to this. This one was, these two albums were just like epic and just so powerful. And it's one of those things, this is what fans want. It's not just old school fans. There's a lot of other fans that want Metallica to stay heavy and to be heavy. So Trapped Under Ice is definitely a wicked awesome song, and I'm going to do a whole specific separate video on that one, on that song alone. And of course Fight Fire with Fire. There's just so many like wicked epic songs, and even the slower songs like For Whom the Bell Tolls has a slight groove to it, it's slower. And of course Fade to Black. Fade to Black is a good ballad. There's nothing wrong with a little ballad here and there. As you see, they balanced it out. They had a ballad, but then they had like a wicked heavy album. On to the next album, Master of Puppets. Once again, Orion, can't really call Orion a ballad because it's just an instrumental, but Orion, Battery, Master of Puppets, Disposable Heroes. Master of Puppets is heavier than hell, and it was my introduction to Metallica. If you've never watched any of my other videos before, or the stuff where I talk about Metallica, Master of Puppets was the first album I got in 1987.
Barking of machine gun fire does nothing to me now. Sounding of the clock that ticks, get used to it somehow.
But of course, throughout the years, once again, you know, you get these people that, whether it's a reaction video, whether it's somebody covering, or just other younger fans. So that's why I wanted to address here. A lot of the younger fans love these albums. And why do they love them? Because they're just so damn heavy and they're so epic. This is what Metallica was. This is what Metallica... I know times have changed and all that other stuff. I'll get into that soon. But this is what made Metallica who they were. The first 4 albums, and with these two right in the middle of the first 4, they're definitely, I don't want to say at their peak, because there's other albums where they were just doing awesome, wicked musicianship and everything. It's hard to describe it. These 2 albums are just the gems in the Metallica collection. Now that probably sounds stupid. These 2 albums are just the heaviest out of Metallica's catalog. The songwriting and the song structure on these, with the drums, the bass, the guitar, a lot of other younger fans, or even sometimes older fans, will argue, oh, it's not as technical, it's not as heavy, and it doesn't sound like Master of Puppets. That's not the reason why people dislike Metallica's newer, later stuff. It doesn't have to sound like Master of Puppets. And just as Thrall and Ride the Lightning didn't sound like Master of Puppets, they're both heavier than hell and both awesome, it doesn't have to specifically be that tone or whatever. They still could have continued on with heavy, good music. Did Metallica sell out? Yes. Once 1994 hit, 96 if you will, 96, 98, when they released Load and Reload and Saint Anger, they changed. Basically what it is that they cut their hair, they cut their logo, they started smoking cigars and just doing all this other odd-ass crap and creating videos that were really 1990s. To explain this in the quickest way possible, after, cutting their hair, logo, and smoking cigars and all that and doing 1990s style videos, that just turned a lot of people off, and it was just really annoying and irritating. And people's corniest argument I hear all the time is that they evolved, that they matured. No, wearing nail polish and wearing eyeliner and smoking cigars isn't maturing. Cutting your hair and trying to fit in with other bands isn't advancing or progressing or evolving in any way, shape, or form. When Metallica started, their whole metal journey and everything, it was bands that were copying them. Even though, of course, they were copying other bands that they were influenced by, and there was heavier bands, or just as heavy bands, around at the same time. These guys were still labeled and known as the pioneers of, heavy metal and innovators to an extent, pioneers, ones who kind of started the whole thing with, thrash metal. Like you, and people you wouldn't think that would be listening to heavy metal, or that aren't really into Metallica and aren't really into heavy metal. But most of the older fans know who Exodus is, Flotsam and Jetsam, and Suicidal Tendencies. There's connections with those 3 bands. If you know about those 3 bands and the connection with these guys, then you're a true older fan. If you don't know, then you'll find out eventually at some point. Like I said, I have nothing against other newer fans. I understand that people are younger and they weren't around in the 80s, and then they were really young in the 90s, or even to this day, they were young in the 2000 somethings. You got to discover metal, you got to discover music at a certain point in your life, and then there's just all this other older stuff and everything, and then you have to rediscover that, go back, not rediscover it, discover it, go back and listen to those other older albums. People do that with all kinds of bands. It's not just Metallica. With every single band you could think of. I always did that. When I got into metal and started listening to a specific band, I wanted to check out their other older stuff. And sometimes the other older stuff is really good. It's a good thing that Metallica got recognized. It's a good thing that Metallica did gain some respect and notoriety. They definitely deserved it. Metallica has had that career which has been like stairs. It's just gone up, and they've just gotten more popular each year, every single time, off every single album. That doesn't happen in too many bands. In between during these albums and everything, Metallica kind of just stuck to their guns for a while, and Metallica wasn't the kind that was going to sell out, and the kind that didn't really care about fashion at all.
Yeah, I just like dressing comfortable. Don't really care what it looks like.
Too hip to the new fashion,
There's a lot of people who really get really involved in new trends and fashion. And
spend a lot of money on clothes.
Yeah, it's
Stupid.
it's what's the point? I mean, we
See it in
dress for
magazine.
ourselves. We don't dress for other people, basically.
Yeah. The people, whoa, it's the new fashion, gotta go buy it.
Yeah.
And something they bought last week is hanging in their closet, forever.
Yeah, because it's out of.
Okay, in closing, Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets are two epic, awesome albums. I think that they're definitely important albums in my life, and I'm sure to most like Metallica fans. Whenever you got them, they're important to you, and you love them. I haven't heard one Metallica fan say that they don't like either of these albums. However, I did hear one Metallica fan one time says he likes Load and Reload better than the other older stuff. It's kind of odd, but somebody did actually say it. They're awesome. I'm sure they're important to you too. They're really important to me. The times in my life when I discovered them, I like all the Metallica. I like most of all the Metallica albums. There's a couple of them I don't like. So that's it for the video. I'm really looking forward to the new Metallica album, 72 Seasons, which comes out April 14th. I'm definitely going to do a review for that. Like, comment, subscribe, all that. Thanks for watching. See you.
The flame.